Hello and welcome back. In this episode I'm going to begin to look at the picture profile and ultimately the picture quality within the DJI Osmo 360. In the previous two episodes I've concentrated mainly on the audio, which, let's face it, hasn't exactly been great. So let's hope the visual side of this camera provides better results. So for this clip I've set the camera into 360 mode. I'm in 8K 50. It is a shame for our friends over in America and other NTSC countries, in old words, that the camera doesn't go to 60 frames, because I know a lot of you like to shoot in 30 and 60. However, it suits me just fine in 50 frames. And all of my other settings are at the bottom of this screen here. I'll carry that on throughout this short video. I do like to have the exposure value. You can see there I have EV set to -3. I always find DJI's cameras overexpose, especially on skin tones a little bit, so I just crush it down to -3. You can do that in the menu settings as you can with everything else, of course. So you can see straight off this is oversaturated, and horribly so. The yellows are just burning. I particularly brought out this colour motorcycle, and I'm riding with the sun behind me just to really give the picture as much contrast as I can with the trees and the shadows and the shade as well as the picture being oversaturated. You can also see at the bottom of my jacket where it meets my jeans, the blacks are very, very black. So this isn't even D-Log, this is just normal colour mode. I'm still going to have to do a little bit of work on this in the edit. So once again, this whole idea of streamlining my workflow and making it much easier just having one camera, it's just yet something else with the camera. Even if I was to shoot in normal colour mode like this, I'm still going to have to play around with the colour of the picture. So already it's defeating the purpose of making my edit easier. The good news is, however, I can't see any remains of the condensation on the screen here. There's no residue, no stains from when I was out riding doing the audio tests last week. In fact, it was the very day I got the camera and it had condensation in the lens. I've since heard a lot of you are complaining about the same problem. I haven't ridden in rain over the last week. However, I will, because this is Ireland, it won't be long before I am riding in the rain again. So I'll be bringing you all of those videos as well, just to see if that condensation returns. On that note, actually, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you might think about doing so, because I've got an awful lot of things to get into yet with this camera. This, hopefully, will just be a fairly short video, just looking at the different picture profiles and how the camera handles a contrast situation like what we're looking at now. Now this is where 360 cameras fall apart. The Insta360 camera does the same. When you digitally zoom in, the picture literally falls apart. So whilst you can manipulate the image and select any angle you like, as soon as you start zooming in, I mean, just look at this. It's so grainy. I would deem this unusable. It's horrible. It's awful stuff. Unless you really wanted the tight shot of the eagle sitting on the fence post as you rode past on your motorbike, and that's your only option of getting the shot, then don't be zooming in with these cameras. Don't even think about it. It's awful. So you do have to bear in mind placement of the camera. I know all of the adverts and the hype says, oh, you can just put the camera in the air and select all of your images afterwards. You really can't. Another thing I want to address as well, a few bikers have asked, could you mount this camera on your chin? In theory, yes, but when you take the facial image, i.e. the shot looking back at you, it's out of focus. And again, the Osmo Action 3 series had this problem until they released a firmware upgrade for it. Anything less than 70 centimeters, the camera is slightly out of focus. So hopefully they will release a firmware upgrade for that as well. But anything close to your face, just forget about it. Just turns to mush. And I have a pretty mushy face anyway, to be honest. Now, just to show you very quickly what I have done, I've went into the color board settings within Final Cut Pro, which is my editing platform of choice, and I'll show you now how you can just desaturate the picture To be honest, it's quite a simple process, but my point is you have to do this to make the picture usable. So now you can see it without any color correction. I'm going to count down from 3. On 0 you will see it with the color correction. 3, 2, 1, 0. And there you go. I have sucked it. In fact, it's best if you look at the tank of the motorcycle, the yellow tank, and also that lens flare as well. Just keep looking at that. I'm going to take the color correction back off at the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. And there it is without any color correction. So I'll go color correction on, off, on, off, on, off. So there's quite a difference. It really does need to happen within this picture, and like I say, we're not even into D-Log yet. This is just the normal color profile. So you can see from the settings at the bottom of the screen, we are now in D-Log. This is the picture, the flat color profile. DJI have their own version of log. To me, it's not flat enough. I use log at work with all of my Sony cameras, and it's a very grey looking picture profile, the Sony profile, which just allows you to really fine tune the colour. This DJI version has quite a bit of colour in. I mean, the plus side of this is that you don't have to do much to bring the picture to life. In fact, I've done, again, a little preset. If you keep looking at the picture there now, I'll count you down from 3. When I hit 0, I'll tell you what I've done. 3, 2, 1, 0. So as you can see, the picture now has colour introduced. And again, this is very simply done from the colour board wheel in my editing platform, Final Cut Pro. I'm going to take the colour back out again. 3, 2, 1, and the colour is out. So, I mean, this is very basic colour correction. I haven't downloaded any LUTs. Of course you can. A LUT is a lookup table, and they give you a picture, an instant, well, look, for want of a better word, so you don't have to manipulate the picture too much. But like I say, if you just want to introduce a bit of colour, you can do this yourself within your editing platform. I have to say the contrast looks a lot better than the normal colour profile already, and that's because it's not oversaturated from the start. And looking forward here as well. I have to say the auto exposure on this camera handles it really well. Bearing in mind we're driving through shade, where we've got a clear blue sky, and we've got the sun behind us in a lot of the shots as well. Even the little wisps of cloud stand out well in this D-Log colour profile. Yeah, so far I'm very impressed with this. You know, it does need a little bit of work to bring the picture to life, but that's the whole idea of D-Log footage. So if you're going to be shooting in D-Log, then you have to expect to manipulate the program a little bit in the edit. But so far, this footage, well, it's very impressive. So we're back into normal colour profile now. I just wanted to show you this so it's back to back with the log footage, and you can see how awful that oversaturation is. So whether you're shooting in log or normal colour profile, the image is going to need a bit of manipulation just to make that image a lot truer. I'm also noticing as well the sharpness in the image on the normal colour mode anyway, not so much in the log footage, is horrible. I'm going to have to take that down again within my editing platform. I'm going to have to slightly soften that image. Just look at the leaves on the trees there. It's got that horrible video look. A lot of you might not mind this. I really am looking at this through a cameraman's eye. That's what I do, and I'm sort of trained to see this, if you like. So yeah, I am being a little bit finicky, so you'll have to excuse me for that. It might not bother you, like I say. So now I'm in 5K 50 in the single lens mode. Just in case you bikers just purely and simply wanted to use this camera as a reverse cam on yourself, you can do this quite easily, as I am doing here. So it's not recording the image going forward, it's only recording the image looking back at me, which I've selected. Actually, when you're in 5K, it's a shame you can't press the little circle with arrows on it at the bottom right hand of the screen to flick into the front facing lens. You can only do that when you're in 4K mode, which is a shame, because that's one of the reasons, again, I bought this camera, for when I'm interviewing people I can switch the lenses to me and to the person I'm interviewing. I do quite a bit of this stuff on my channel where I'm interviewing other bikers about their bikes. Let's talk about the picture quality in this single lens mode. You can see straight off I'm in normal color profile, by the way. Once again, that is going to need a little bit of work done in the edit. This camera certainly so far is not making things very easy for a very busy vlogger like myself. I don't do this full time. I have a full-time job. I only do my vlogging as a hobby and a passion, so that's why I'm constantly trying to make my workflow easier, streamline it so it doesn't take as long in the edit mainly. So far this camera is only going to increase my time in the edit. And also another observation here is, whilst riding through the shadows of the trees here, you can see the grain in them, and I don't know why this is. I have my ISO selected between 1 and 800. Do not select anything higher than 800, because in darker areas, if it needs to go above 800 ISO, that's really when the picture will introduce grain. It's not good at all. So try and keep your ISO value between 100 and 800. So let's just slow down for a moment. If you want one camera on board your motorcycle with wireless sound and a quick turnaround for your weekly vlogs, then this camera is probably not for you. But if you simply want an effects camera to get shots like this, then the Osmo 360 has to be considered, as long as you're in D-Log-M colour profile, which is, in all honesty, a rather superb picture. But be careful if you're near the water, because the lens might suffer from condensation again. And here you can see just a few other angles I'm playing around with for a future video that I'll be bringing you, all about how to mount and where to mount on a motorbike your 360 camera to get shots like this. And this is just a few shots. I have gotten an awful lot of new camera positions I'm using in up and coming videos, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Probably going to wrap the video up now, folks. I really hope you learned something from this. I always try and keep these videos as short and as simple as I possibly can, because I know I get very carried away with the techie stuff. I could talk for hours about this. A lot of you have asked, am I bringing out one video just to talk about everything to do with the camera? The short answer to that is no, because it would be about 4 hours long. So I shall just continue to bring you this series of hopefully short enough videos. Like I say, thanks a million for tuning in again. Please like and subscribe. Dave Perry, WheelieGoodTV.